Reinhardt goes, there's going to be very little that they can do against a well-placed wall. Of course, though, with that Mei pick, you are giving up the potential to eat any of those incoming projectiles with no Diva online, and we've seen the impact that Eat and Graviton Surges can have on this game in yesterday's series. So XL2 Academy, if they do roll out with this hero, and it looks like they are, you know, no take-backsies now, they're going to be putting a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Mangachu.
And so Gladiators and Legion are going to find out exactly what they're going against here in just a second. They know that Mangachu is on the Mei, and they have also scouted that there is no Diva on XL2 Academy as well, as the first Mei wall comes up and tries to isolate the Reinhardt, but Panker is going to get the first blood here on this map. He's going to get Logics in the end. This is a 6v4 for Gladiators Legion right now. They're looking strong to take this first point.
Oh, absolutely. You saw that wall come up, and immediately Panker charges forward, and, you know, poor Logics was the target that time around, and Gladiators Legion not only going to be able to cap that point, but now you have that ultimate advantage. We have Wolf 70% up to that crucial Transcendence. XL2 Academy still working up towards theirs.
Yeah, the wall is limiting Gladiators Legion area, you know, the area that they can work around, and Goliath is going to get the first kill here. So while Gladiators Legion got the first point capture, XL2 might be taking it back here very shortly, as the Mei wall is going to make sure that no one escapes from the threats of Mangachu and the rest of the team.
Oh, and Teedsy, I believe this is one of the first times that we've seen him play here with XL2, and boy, is he coming into his own. I believe that was like 4 kills to the Reinhardt. You know, you get 2 with a Fire Strike, you're feeling pretty good. So XL2 Academy already halfway to Gladiators Legion's point percentage, and with that Mei, one of the best stalling heroes, one of those most obnoxious heroes in the game, is going to have a Blizzard, so he's going to be a little bit more deadly than annoying in this next fight.
Yeah, Dalton's going to have a Graviton Surge on his side. XL2's not going to have that ultimate just yet, but they will have that Blizzard. Gladiators Legion looking to try to take back this objective after winning it in that first fight and then losing it against XL2 Academy here just recently. Dalton, though, still looking for that opportunity to use that Graviton Surge. He's going to go ahead and throw it out. The Blizzard's going to come out at the exact same time right in front of it, though. So the rest of Gladiators Legion are going to have a hard time going towards that damage, getting towards the rest of the team without having to go through that Blizzard, which is now over. The Sound Barrier has been invested on both sides now as well. Earthshatter as well. The Mei wall, though, causing some discord and some disruption. Logic is going to go down eventually. Gladiators Legion do have a numbers advantage now to try to take back this point, Ham.
Ooh, Mangachu's wall actually cutting TT off from the rest of his team. Reinhardt got up, but the rest of his team had already fallen in the meantime. So unfortunately, that's one of those instances where you're like, Mei, come on. XL2 Academy, though, they're not looking to switch Mangachu off of this hero, even though you did invest the Blizzard in that last fight. They're going to go and try to engage with the Mei. This is a pretty risky proposition. You really need that first wall to cut off somebody from Gladiators Legion. That's going to be your in. Otherwise, you're just bashing your face into all of this damage trying to get to the point.
Oh, and it looks like Panker was walled off just for a second, but there was enough time for him to make it back to his team. Uyal now has the Graviton Surge of his own. Gladiators Legion going to use the Graviton Surge first. Bigger Bang combo, the first one so far, is not going to result in any kills. Let's see if it's going to happen on the other side with this Graviton Surge. No self-destruct though on that side. We talked about it. No Diva for them, but TC once again going to show up on that kill feed for XL2 Academy. Like you said, hasn't gotten a lot of playtime so far, but he's making the most of it here on Busan.
Oh, and you're wow, and you really feel it right there. Charges are one of those things that you still can't really do anything about. Even if you have that Transcendence healing, charging somebody away from the death ball of their team is a certain death sentence. Gladiators Legion now, this has been a very back and forth matchup. Whoever wins this next fight will have a huge advantage going into that overtime brawl, as XL2 Academy now nearly 80% of the way there. TT looking for that Earthshatter.
Far use the only ultimate that they have in their back pocket. Gladiators Legion has in their back pocket. So far, the Earthshatter is going to knock Diva onto the ground, but will it be enough? The pin onto Panker will keep this point for XL2 Academy once they do clean this up, and they will win the round if they do. XL2 Academy looking very, very good with TT popping off once again. Another kill with that Fire Strike. Gladiators Legion, are they going to even get anyone on the objective? It doesn't look like they will.
Oh no, they have one last tiny Lucio holding on. It's going to be Pooks, but Panker is far, far away. No reinforcements coming this poor Frog's way. He gets booped off, and that's going to be it. XL2 Academy with an early lead.
XL2 Academy making sure that they keep those envy fans rooting for them by giving this round 1 victory on Busan on Mecha Base. Gladiators Legion kept it close. I believe we had 4 fights and 3 flip-flops there on the objective. TT, though, really big reason why XL2 Academy are in the lead right now.
Yeah, I mean, look at that, how he threaded the needle with that fire strike. Just, peek in the corner, and there's just really nothing you can do as a Brigitte. You're holding the shield, but the fire strike will just cleave right through your face. So XL2 Academy really working this aggressive main tank to their advantage. TT, we haven't seen him a whole ton, so, largely unknown with the way that he plays with XL2. And we actually saw yesterday in many of our games, a really confident Reinhardt. If the rest of the team has his back, that is going to be your frontal battering ram. There's very little that Gladiators Legion can do to hold that Reinhardt back. This time around, though, TT will be on the Winston to complement Mungachu's Pharah and Logix on the Widowmaker. Oh, please, Mr. Logix.
Logix on the Widowmaker is something that we fell in love with during the Overwatch League. Let's see if we're gonna, fall in love once again, coming back by 12 HP, 6 HP there by the end of that.
Yeah, fall back in love. It's like his golden anniversary, but a barrage already from Mungachu isn't able to take anybody down before he himself falls. TT still just doing his best right here, but it looks set that Gladiators Legion will take this point.
Yeah, the hard part about the barrage is that you're just a sitting duck in the sky, right?
Press Q to respawn.
Yeah, exactly. You want to get some value. If you get 2 kills before you go down, that's completely okay, but we didn't see that as Gladiators Legion own at the point. We've said this before, the team that gets the first point is at a huge advantage in terms of winning the round overall. We did not see that last time around, but it could be holding true for us this time on downtown. Gladiators Legion getting close to some ultimates. The Graviton Surge will be there very soon. XL2 will have the Valkyrie, and that's going to keep everyone, healthy and alive throughout a lot of these fights. Actually, they're going to use it to go offensive onto the objective and try to take it and make that opportunity their own. And so God's trying to, get into the front line. He's getting taken down very, very low. He's got the self-destruct as well coming up soon, along with Dalton's Graviton Surge. So there's a bigger bang opportunity for Gladiators Legion upcoming. XL2 did lose Logic, so this is a 6v5 for Gladiators Legion, and XL2 ceding some space. This is Gladiators' fight to lose at this point.
Yeah, they certainly have all the tools to continue to hold on to this point, but Mungachu has one of his own ready to rain down some spicy rockets, but of course, it's finding that window of opportunity. You need to get TT and Wooyall in there to run a little bit of distraction, but no, Goliath getting hunted down by the death ball of Gladiators Legion.
Oh, and once again, Mungachu just a sit duck in the sky. And the cool thing about Goliath, what we just saw, they isolated him. They knew he was out of position. You saw the Amp It Up come in, and then they took him out. But Gladiators Legion still owned at this point 70% on the clock now, so they're in one-fight territory.
Yeah, this is XL2's last best chance to attack now. TT going in aggressive. We have the Lob Diva self-destruct.
And then the Wooyall self-destruct not going to get anything, and God's self-destruct not getting over the bridge, so, could have found a little bit more value there, but unfortunately neither Diva does. Panker and Mangachu are going to show up on that kill feed and trade kills for either team, but this Primal Rage is going to find a little bit more value by getting far off of the map. This is XL2's best opportunity since the beginning of this round to grab this point. The Gladiators Legion are trying to put themselves, get their bodies on there, but they got to be feeling good about 98%.
Oh, that's absolutely the best case scenario for Legion right here. XL2 Academy, that was a struggle fest. We have Logix on this Widowmaker, but he wasn't finding the shot that his team desperately needed him to. When you're running this kind of comp, you're just buying time. Your main tanks are just dancing around, trying to buy the space and time for your DPS to get those ultimates or find those heads, and unfortunately, Logix and Mungachu took quite a while to do so. 98 seconds, exactly. But now they will have that barrage to meet Legion.
Goliath getting an opening pick on to Rolf. Actually, a lot of damage got splashed onto Gladiators Legion when they were coming onto the objective, punctuated by Mangachu's rocket barrage there at the end.
Definitely an exclamation mark. No ellipses here. Mungachu trying to sow some fear, some hesitancy in the hearts of Legion as they come in to re-engage. What if XL2 Academy allow Legion to get onto the objective without taking a ton of damage? They're probably going to lose that fight. Nobody brawls better in those knockout, drag-out fights than Ghost. XL2 Academy has to do a ton of damage on them before they get to that objective, but with that rally coming in from far, going to be a little bit harder, but Logix cuts right through Pooks like a ripe melon.
At the beginning of that, Mangachu was taken very, very low for a majority of that fight, but somehow survived through it, and Earthshatter has been dropped from that. Panker Gods will be getting DMX'd, so Gladiators Legion were able to hold on to this point for 98%, but XL2 Academy looking to match that here. They've been in complete control since they've, bought some real estate on the objective.
Yeah, Gladiators Legion, there's no way. Oh, and look at that. Another exclamation point. But XL2 Academy, as long as they can hold Legion at range. There's no way for Gladiators to get anything done effective against these long-range DPS. You have so many different angles of attack for XL2. Gladiators Legion right now, they're trying to decide, do we look left or right? They have to also watch just straight upwards for Wu Yal's D.Va self-destruct. We could see a barrage come into the self-destruct, or hey, just some good old Widowmaker headshots.
Oh, the Transcendence is going to come in a little late. Panker is already dead, so they're already at a numbers disadvantage. XL2 Academy looking really strong to finish out Busan and take the map victory. 99% overtime has turned the rocket barrage, making it very hard for Gladiators Legion to touch this objective so far, but they're trying their best because they don't have any more opportunities off this. Remember, their playoff hopes are on the line in this game. They have to win it. The Sound Barrier going to try to keep them onto the objective for a little bit longer, but they are still at that numbers disadvantage. But looking at XL2's health bars, they are taking some damage, which is going to give some ultimate charge to Gladiators Legion, but it looks like everyone is going to be a little farther away because Gladiators Legion are going to be getting some kills here. So this fight has definitely evened up with Mangachu out of the... Oh my goodness. Objective secured. 1-1 on each side. So we're going to go to round 3.
Man, you had so many bodies just milling around, but somehow a letter and a number squeaked in there. Just saying. That was really, really back and forth. It just goes to show how much Legion has grown throughout this season, that they're now really giving XL2 a run for their money. Curious if anybody's going to be pulling out any more hit scan tricks. Doesn't look like it in Spawn, because XL2 Academy, they struggled a little bit early on with that Pharah Widowmaker, but they found a lot of purchase towards the end. But you could tell maybe that wasn't a comp that this team is as used to running, maybe something new that they've added. So when it came down to it and everybody had to pay attention to the objective as well as picking up the frags, things fell apart just slightly. But now it will be that Mirror Goats composition. No tricks or shenanigans up either side's sleeve here. XL2 Academy pushing forward here with this Brigitte. Far, just looking, waiting, trying to bait for some shield bashes.
Bait for those shield bashes. You got to try to find that Reinhardt to open up things for the rest of the team, because for that little bit of time, there's no big shield for the rest of the team. XL2 Academy got to be feeling bad after that last one. They needed to just stay on the objective, but they gave it up pretty much. Gladiators Legion are going to open up this point with a kill on it to Mangachu, so they're going to have a 6v4 right now without TZ and Mangachu. This fight is over. Gladiators Legion have won.
Yeah, TT definitely going a little bit too over-aggressive right there. Opened up that little middle wedge in the death ball where Gladiators Legion saw that opening. They all rushed Mangachu, took him down very early, and then it's no problem to turn 180 degrees about face and take down TT as well. XL2 beating a quick retreat. However, that aggression does mean that TT is going to be, ahead in terms of that Earth Shatter charge to Panker. So that ultimate online XL2 Academy alongside Goliath's Trans have a pretty good shot in this next fight.
Overwatch is all about that give and take, right? Even though I lost that fight, I'm going to have my ultimate first, but I got to win it for my team. Now, TT getting close to that Earth Shatter. We're going to see our first ultimates come out now as Dalton's going to throw out that Graviton Surge with 100 energy. The Transcendence is going to be there in the end as well on both sides. Earth Shatter going to knock 2 down. Panker's going to get the bubble, but Goliath is going to go back to spawn as well as far. So this is a 5v5 on the objective right now. XL2 Academy pulling this one in the head. And charging Reinhardt is going to get slapped over the head with the hammer, man. The fixes of that were painful.
Oh, no, definitely. I felt that right in my main tank soul. You're charging in and you just feed your face right into somebody else's hammer. Yeah, and now XL2 Academy will flip the point with 58 to Gladiators Legion. So not bad for either side. You have a fighting chance here as XL2. You have that bigger bang combo on the ready, and you need to buy some time with this combo because Jura and Goliath need that room in order to get up to those crucial support ults.
Gladiators Legion, they're going to throw the self-destruct out. Logix will be taken down from it, so they just lost the point, but they're looking good to take it right back. They know what they want. They did what they needed to do. The self-destruct's going to be all the ultimate they need to grab this point back from XL2 Academy.
Yeah, a really unexpected route of engagement these days with the GOATS composition. You want to save that self-destruct to combo with that grab. It's one of the few ways that you can actually cleanly clear a point amidst all of these shields and big transcendencies. So Gladiators Legion opening with that ultimate instead caught XL2 a little bit off guard, who had pushed forward aggressively to try to hold him at the choke.
And so looking at the ults now, XL2 Academy have a great opportunity to take the objective for just another 5 to 10 seconds. As Gladiators Legion getting very close to their ultimates. They have a small advantage, but it looks like they're going to not be able to take advantage unless this Earth Shatter is not going to get any value for Gladiators Legion, as a lot of XL2 Academy were on the ground. Self-destruct coming out now. It's going to get a triple kill. So that's 3 kills for Wu Yal. That is something we all have fallen in love with him. He's got 3 of these in every map, I am sure. XL2 Academy going to take that point right back.
The Lob from Downtown, Wuyal's debut album, I'm just guessing. Really good stuff from the Diva player right there. It allows XL2 Academy to hold on to that Earth Shatter because, again, it's just that idea of buying more time. Who's going to have more ultimates? Even if you're not getting a ton of value from that Graviton Surge, you're forcing the Transcendence out from Rolf, so well worth it. Now, XL2 Academy, they have 2 to Gladiators Legions 1 as we face off here in the potentially last fight of the round.
Yeah, Gladiators Legion need to find a lot of value out of the bigger Bay combo that has to come up before the end of the round, which it will. XL2 Academy are going to lose their first member, Mangachu, but no Brigitas on either side. This is an even battle. This is a 5v5. Graviton Surges from both sides as well. And here is that bigger Bang combo. Not going to get anything. The Gladiators Legion do take the point in the process. Earthshatter will take Logics down and move back to spawn. Jur couldn't escape as well. So Gladiators Legion looking strong to hold this point. XL2 need to get a foot on it.
Yeah, and they will. Wuyal sacrificing his mech there to the objective gods. TC just staging around, trying to work up to that Earth Shadow. He could be the turning point for this team. Hammond in now for far. Gladiators Legion have superior numbers here. It looks like they might well take this fight. Far some miracle.
Yeah, XL2 Academy don't even have the bodies to get onto the objective at this point. They're functioning with less numbers every single time. Gladiators Legion, though, do need to figure this out. They gotta clean it up. This is, you know, some sloppiness right now. Getting 2 kills as well. XL2 Academy getting 2 kills is not a best case scenario as well. The Gladiators Legion will have that overtime wick end and take this and keep their playoff hopes alive. And they're gonna move up against XL2 Academy 1-0.
Yeah, 1 down, 2 more to go if you're a Legion fan to lock up that playoffs spot. And I just wanted to point out the heroics of Goliath. He's really a giant amongst Zens here in NA Contenders. And I just wanted to say he was actually body blocking in that trance state for the Zarya, who had self-bubble. But you don't know that as a Zenyatta necessarily. So just really good heads-up stuff. We saw him actually fragging out. He nearly was able to bring it back for XL2. I think he got 2 kills. Just that finishing blow. Yeah, as a Zenyatta. Yeah, definitely made things still spicy. So, you know, XL2, we know this team is extremely consistent with the GOATs. Of course, they're changing things up by putting TC in the front line as that main tank. But if they're able to just harken back to those days, that, you know, reliability that we've seen throughout this season, they do still have a very good chance against Legion.
And so XL2 Academy are down right now. Again, a favorite at the beginning of the season, but right now they are looking for first seed. They have to win this game if they want an opportunity for it. Gladiators Legion, again, need to win this for the playoffs. And so we're in the last day. It's so great to see that the very last game on the very last day has so many implications for the future of the playoffs. And so let's talk about the supports now, as XL2 have a Juror on that Lucio as well. And you talked about Goliath, but let's go on to the other side, Rolf and Pooks, 2 people that have been pretty consistent for Gladiators Legion. Actually, I'm going to take that back. They could be more consistent, I think, in the end, but you know, they've had their moments.
Oh, absolutely. This is kind of one of those weird cases where as a support player, you're doing your best when nobody's calling out your name, right? That means you're doing your job. Graviton Surge comes in. Okay, of course the trance comes in. It's only when you're like, no, the trance, right? Gets forced early, a little bit too late, that you know you're kind of messing up just a little bit. And the support line, you know, for both teams really showing up there definitely did highlight Goliath, who is one of the strongest players, I would say, on the XL2 team, just in terms of that pop-off ability. But on both sides, you know, again, just really disciplined play. I said it earlier, but Gladiators Legion really showing that they've kind of, you know, matured throughout the season in this GOATS comp.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see XL2 run that Mangachu Pharah as well. Mangachu, very well known on a Pharah. I will forever remember a day on Shrine where he just popped off, I think, got 9 rockets in a row. That was like forever, eons ago. But it was good to see that look from them. He got the barrages fast, but he didn't find the value. And then they C9'd the point, right? And so, like, I love the difference of opinion. I like the different team comps. But again, like you said, is that what you practice? And at this point in time, is it a good idea to try things out like that?
It's a question of your goals as a team. XL2 Academy, they will be going to playoffs regardless, so they are playing, you know, just a little bit for the pride right now. Gladiators Legion, though, they got to be nose to the grindstone because these are their tournament lives on the line right now, so there is going to be more of a pressure to perform for the side of Legion. May I explain some of the, you know, the new risk, the new look that XL2 Academy are showing right now?
Yeah, Gladiators Legion, Far was on that Widow, and the only reason why I point that out is one time he was on that Widow, got a headshot. I believe it was on Hanamura.
It was on Hanamura.
And his team ended up winning very, very quickly. We're not going to see the same thing happen this time around, but it was good to see them try. Gladiators Legion and XL2 Academy running the same comp on both sides. So we're going to see that classic GOATS matchup here on a Hollywood. And what I love about this initial fight is when the attacking team peeks around that corner and those Reinhardts see each other for the first time. Then you're going to listen for that amp it up. The first team that amps it up wants to engage. And if you have to use that amp it up to heal, that team's going to lose that fight. And so Gladiators Legion really trying to force that, get the tempo on their side, force XL2 to react to their plays. But XL2 is so good at making sure that doesn't happen. As you see Logic's team taking down very, very low, and the importance of that armor pack coming from Brig, keeping Logic's alive for the rest of this fight, as both of these teams just kind of jostling for position right now.
It is kind of that speed boost chicken game, but we take a look at like the Reinhardt's ultimate charge, TT nearly 70% to Panker's 40. There we have it. Transcendence actually invested from both sides, urging their tanks to go in hard.
Yeah, they thought something big was about to happen, so the Transcendences are going to be depleted on both sides. Logix has that Graviton Surge already, and so does Gladiators Legion, so everything's still pretty even so far. The rallies are going to come out as well. Gladiators Legion will have the armor a little bit before XL2 Academy will. Will that be the difference? Logix is going to drop that Graviton Surge on that defense, and they are going to get the first blood of this round so far. XL2 Academy with those 4 ultimates looking good, but only needed the 1 to end up winning that defense.
Yeah, XL2 Academy, they're like, okay, well, you know, we're on the defense. You're the ones who have to attack us, so we're happy, just chilling right here. So XL2 Academy, they will have 4 ultimates to show for their efforts in that last fight to Gladiators Legion's only 2, although they will have that Earth Shatter and Transcendence coming crawling back online. So that was a really good fight for XL2 Academy, a good defensive hold. They used exactly what they needed and not a single ultimate more. It's now on Gladiators Legion's shoulders to try to find their way through all of these barriers. You see Panker and TT both just jockeying around this corner.
Oh, and Booyah's going to get taken down by the self-destruct before he's able to get back into his mech. The sound barrier from Gladiators Legion will be online as well, but are they going to find any value out of it? TT's going to go down, so without that Reinhardt, XL2 Academy are going to have a really hard time maintaining a presence on at this point. They got to get some picks, but that's not what we're going to see, as Mangachu is going to be the one that's going to go down. Lucio, desperation at this point. Gladiators Legion, after spending a lot of time figuring out what they do, they finally punch through, take the point.
Yeah, but they took a really good fight right there. You saw TT going in aggressive again, maybe getting a little overconfident after that easy defense, and he was able to be split up by Gladiators Legion. They went in aggressive off the back of Rolf's Transcendence, herded TT away from the rest of his team, and then it was an easy shatter for Panker to try and finish out that fight. So XL2 Academy, again, they got to go back to their disciplined roots. TT, though, wants to go in aggressive.
And so XL2 Academy have an Earth Shatter, but they're within an unwilling hug right now. The Gladiators Legion going to take advantage of that huge bear hug and get a couple kills from it. They're going to maintain presence on this payload, and their momentum will not be stopped by XL2.
Oh no, sand is actually really conducive to wheels. Little known fact, you would think it was kind of the opposite, but this payload rolling, and Gladiators Legion looking like they don't have any signs of stopping right here. TT went in aggressive. We often see those aggressive spawn holds, so it's not actually even off the backs of that Reinhardt. Mangachu was the first one to go down, though. We know this is a player who loves playing that aggressive Brigitte, and it certainly fits right into TT's playstyle. Unfortunately, though, XL2 Academy found themselves a little caught off guard that fight.
Live by the aggression, die by the aggression, and self-destruct because of a shield bash, going to get 2. So Gladiators Legion maintaining that momentum, and we know how important momentum is in Overwatch. Once you get that payload going, it's much easier to keep it going than to try to take it back.
And especially against a team considered to be the favorite in this matchup, Gladiators Legion are putting up a beautiful fight right now. They still have 3 ultimates, and one of them is a trance. That's usually the first ultimate you see go in these big brawly fights. XL2 Academy have 1 more shot to hold.
And so Gladiators Legion are going to throw out that first Earth Shatter. A couple people will be on the ground. The Transcendences are coming from both sides as well. Earth Shatter now from XL2. That might find a little bit more value, but they're going to trade kills. But I will take Panker kill over that Mangachu kill any day, as TT get taken down very low as well, and eventually does go back to spawn. Self-destruct is out, but Gladiators Legion do win this fight in the end. XL2, though, coming back with 2 ultimates.
Yeah, there are going to be 2 ultimates here, but 3 minutes to Gladiators Legion. That's plenty of time. Ooh, and a really painful stagger onto Mangachu as well. XL2 Academy struggling slightly here on Hollywood. We've seen this happen to some of our more stable teams in the past. Yesterday certainly comes to mind. And Gladiators Legion now, though, they have to start linking together multiple one fights. One good fight is no longer going to be enough. You're so far away from your spawns. The defense has such an advantage. You need 2 good fights. So this might well be an eco push waiting to get some of those ults.
Yeah, the end of Hollywood could definitely be a brawl. It's very reminiscent of those Assault Point Bs. And so let's see if that's what we're going to get. We got to get to the end first. XL2 Academy do have that sound barrier, and that's pretty much it after this Graviton Surge does run out. And that Graviton Surge is going to be enough as XL2 flood that kill feed with that green. Looking good, so looking good finally on that defense.
They had to win it, and they were likely going to win it regardless. Oh no, just the body and the...
Yeah.
Anyhow, Gladiators Legion, though, not going to be too discouraged because look at what all of that damage got them. They now have 3 ultimates. Panker about to get that Earth Shatter. He's looking for revenge, absolutely. TZ has been winning out in that head-to-head quite a bit, quite often so far, so Panker looking to even things up here.
The self-destruct coming from Gladiators Legion. I like the route, and Jur's not going to like it as much as I do as he's going back to spawn. 2 kills already for Gladiators Legion means that this is a 6v4 for the foreseeable future. The spawns now are going to be to the advantage of XL2 Academy.
Yeah, there's no reason for Goliath to hold this trance back. He could escort the entire team onto the point with it. Should need be try and set up this Earth Shatter from TZ or a big self-destruct.
Oh, the Earth Shatter is going to knock TZ onto the ground, but the Transcendence is there. Self-destruct will be trying to push into the back line, but going to find nothing from it. Graviton Surge now for Gladiators Legion will be countered by the Earth Shatter, but TZ will go down before anything happens for XL2 Academy. The Gladiators Legion do have a numbers advantage for a 6v5 here at the very end of Hollywood, and looking at XL2 Academy, they're having a hard time staying alive as the Gladiators Legion are going to get that support kill. Without Goliath on the field, they're going to be missing that healing for sure, particularly since they're not getting inspired healing from Mangachu as well. TZ going to be the last bastion of hope on the payload so far, but that's not going to be coming true for him. That's a bad bastion of hope. It's a bastion of failure right there.
It's a Reinhardt of failure.
Hey, oh yeah, Bastion's a character. Dang, yeah.
But yeah, you're absolutely right, Bupu. Astutely said, you know, XL2 seems to need these support ultimates to stay alive, and the same can't be said for Gladiators Legion. A little bit of a whoopsie, layering both the trance and the sound barrier there for XL2 Academy. Certainly not really going to be helping things, as Wolf can kind of negate all of that with a single trance of his own, while Pooks works up to his sound barrier. But you see that laser focus on Logix. He was half health, and immediately 4 members of Legion smelled that blood in the water, got that Zarya down into the ground immediately. There was very little that XL2 Academy could do once they expended those support ults.
Yeah, Gladiators Legion end that with 55 seconds in the time bank. That is 55 seconds too long if you're a Team Envy fan. And so XL2 Academy know what they have to do in order to come back, and they need all 3 points. And right now it's been really interesting to see XL2 Academy play. This is probably the most discombobulated I've seen them work. I think the beginning of Hollywood Gladiators Legion, that fight that they lost, was a really good example of when XL2 Academy is controlling that tempo and being very, very patient, but when you constantly wait for the right opportunity, a lot of times you miss it.
Yeah, that is one of the downsides of playing a quote-unquote passive game. You're looking for the perfect fight. You're not just going to be bashing your heads into the maces and shields of the enemy team willy-nilly. And of course, though, the question is, what if that opportunity never presents itself? Then you can have a case of, like, you know, 2 minutes and just 2 fights within that if you're waiting a little bit too long. Sometimes you just got to go forward and make those windows of opportunity happen yourself. And that's what XL2 Academy going to be hoping here. Nope, Jurge is going to be taking a peek. You never quite know, and Woolyall back to the Diva as well. TT has some really good aggression here, hoping that XL2 Academy can put some more resources on their Reinhardt, cleave through the middle of Gladiators Legion, maybe bait out a couple of abilities from Panker and go from there.
So TT's going to go around the corner, see what he is looking at. And the particle barrier is down, so he's going to wait for that cooldown to try again. That Reinhardt needs to be protected in this GOATS composition. When those cooldowns aren't there for him, you pretty much don't have a fight opportunity. Gladiators Legion could have taken advantage, but now we see the Ampet up coming from XL2 Academy. They want to be the aggressors here, but eventually that will run out. We'll see Gladiators Legion push for a little bit more space. You're going to see them walk up here in just a second. As Logix, though, going to get a kill onto Gods before he has an opportunity to even make it back into that mech. Gladiators Legion functioning with like one less person, but it looks like XL2 going to try to be patient with this one.
Yeah, XL2, they do have the ability to try and push their luck, stay a little bit longer, try and get some of that damage in, but sometimes you get demeched for your efforts. That early trade for XL2 was actually great. Ooh, yeah. Actually, that's actually fairly merciful for Legion, rather than waiting for him to have to run all the way back to spawn or work up back to that mech. But XL2, their early trades really went in their favor, but again, kind of that little bit of over-aggression harmed them in the end. Logix was staying back, trying to just pepper in a little bit of damage here and there, but the rest of his team fell around him. Now, though, they will have a grab pushing into this very next fight. They have to know that Wolf will probably have healed enough to get to that trance, so again, that game of chicken.
Oh, the Dalton's going to drop that Graviton and Surge. Transcendence coming out from XL2 to counter that. We don't see kills from Graviton Surges as much as we used to because of that counter with that Transcendence. Now the Graviton Surge and the counter will happen as well, but after this is when the magic will happen as the sound barrier is going to come down for Gladiators Legion. They do not want to lose this point right now, but the Earth Shatter from XL2 Academy are going to knock them on the ground. The self-destruct will be getting pooped, so XL2 have got 3 members off the field for Gladiators Legion, and with 2 minutes left to go, they will be grabbing point A.
Yeah, good stuff from XL2, rotating those ultimates one after another, and Gladiators Legion, that sound barrier was forced so early from Pooks that they had no more cards to show in their hand. It came up, just 2s and 3s or something. XL2 Academy, though, they have also, expended their own sound barrier, but in that time, Goliath will be close to that Transcendence again, and this is exactly what you want to do. You always need just a little bit something in that bank, tide you over in the case of emergencies, because Dalton working up towards that Graviton Surge, the hope for XL2 is that Goliath will be able to meet him.
Always be prepared is something that someone I know and love says very often. Gladiators Legion, though, going to get that first kill onto Goliath with that self-destruct. Ham, I saw that body language. I saw that face. What were you thinking?
Just, unlucky. But Logix getting a little bit more lucky, able to escape to the warmth of that spawn room. But Gladiators Legion do push their front all the way past these gates here. This is a really hard place to break out of if you are the attackers. You need some kind of big ultimate, maybe Logix grab could be it.
Ooh, that Earth Shatter from a Faker will knock some people off the ground, but it's not going to result in any kills. Faker gets taken low as well, but the Transcendence coming from Gladiators Legion trying to get this defense going, and that's exactly what we're going to see as Faker takes advantage of the positioning of that grab, pins Jur, gets Mega Chew, and the rest of XL2 will follow.
Yeah, that was a great fight for Legion. Again, just able to one-up XL2, commit even more to a fight where XL2 hesitated. TT had that Earth Shatter. Maybe he could have, drawn a support ultimate out from Gladiators Legion a little bit earlier by using it, but they chose to take the better fight here. They will now have a distinct advantage. If they aren't able to break through this choke now, it will have been, because they lost their Reinhardt.
Exactly. True words have never been spoken. XL2 Academy functioning with 5 members. Gladiators Legion right now bullying them in the spawn. They're going to have to use some ultimates to try to make it back to this payload.
Yeah, that's exactly what Legion are hoping for. Going all the way back to those selfless days of see me and my boy Sinatra spawn camping. It's the whole goal is to frustrate, get into the heads of your enemy, and to force them to use these crucial ultimates just to get out of spawn. But Gladiators Legion, they know they want to save this trans and sound barrier for a slightly more constructed fight, so they're going to be backing off, giving a little more space.
Oh, the Graviton Surge coming from Logix is going to get a ton of Gladiators Legion within it. The self-destruct is going to get Panker. Without that Reinhardt, Gladiators Legion are going to have a hard time staying on this payload to defend it. XL2 Academy take advantage of the lack of shield and body of that Reinhardt and finally put their feet on that payload.
And XL2 will still have 3 ultimates to try and continue this push through Streets phase. They had them quite early on. I mean, TT's been holding onto this Earth Shatter so long, he probably has, a cramp. But it was just a question of not even being able to use them. Nobody was really in position to get the maximum value from a Shatter, so TT wisely holding his hand here, knowing that it's going to be a lot better here on the open places of Streets phase.
And so Gladiators Legion coming back with the defense here in the middle of a Streets phase. Both teams have pretty good ultimates. XL2 is going to use that sound barrier, but the Graviton Surge and Gladiators Legion, they come right after, so they're going to have a little extra beef, but not Mangachu's gonna have no beef there. He's becoming a vegetarian back in spawn. Self-destruct does get him into the end. XL2 Academy is still on the payload though, but not for long. Earth Shatter not gonna get any value either. So Gladiators Legion though losing far means that XL2 now have an advantage on the payload. The way that the timings worked out, by the time Mangachu comes back, there will be an opportunity for XL2 to function as a 6v5, but the Diva is getting pretty low, so it's TT. So what I loved what Gladiators Legion did, they had that opening, they maintained that 5v5, they aggressed, they got that kill. XL2 has to try again.
Yeah, Yeah, they baited XL2 into a feeling of comfort. Love the way that Gladiators Legion are rebounding like a rubber band or like a gel right here, but now XL2 throwing their playbook in their face. Panker's down, and Gladiators Legion have to retreat.
Yeah, the rubber band goes the other way.
Snap.
Yeah, exactly. So XL2 Academy taking advantage. I think Gladiators Legion thought the same thing we did. Hey, we got this. We won. That's a full reset, but it wasn't a full reset indeed for XL2 as Dalton going down early on, getting staggered and opened things up for XL2 Academy as Gladiators Legion trying a last stand here before the second point. Doesn't look like it's going to work.
It's not going to work in the long run, but when you yourself have completed the entire map, it's just a game of numbers, a game against the time bank. You whittled XL2 down to now just 1 minute and 35 seconds, even with 4 ultimates to their name. Unless they win this in like the next 1 or 2 pushes, that's about all XL2 are actually going to have. So Gladiators Legion, this is actually playing exactly into their hands.
Yeah, God's getting staggered out. That's one of the most painful things you see in Overwatch is those poor larval divas.
Yeah.
You know, just
Wriggling
walking around. They just want to make that cocoon. They want to get back into that mech, but the rest of the team says, no, I like eating lava. And so XL2 Academy, though, have 5 ultimates. Gladiators Legion will have 3, but will that be enough, especially since there are no support ultimates on Gladiators Legion's side, at least for one more fight. The Earthshatter going to come down, knock Logic down onto the ground, but with that armor and that sound barrier, he's going to survive. It's the rest of XL2 Academy, though, investing a little bit more with that Graviton Surge self-destruct. Panker is down, and so is Pooks. So they use 4 of those ultimates, but will it matter? Will it be enough to get them to the end?
It's looking likely right here. Ooh, and TT, though, needs to get out of dodge right there. Logic's, or excuse me, no, the healer's coming in clutch right here, TT, with that Earthshatter. He lay all of Legion down on their backs before they can even touch it. No, the Zoom-Yata comes through, but there goes the Earthshatter far, getting charged out dead.
Yeah, the Transcendent unable to save Panker on that Reinhardt. Just a little too late. Dalton very, very low, but XL2 Academy the opposite. They're all at full health right now. The self-destruct Gladiators Legion doesn't find any value, and that was their last hope other than the sound barrier, though, as Rolf has switched to Moira, trying to get back onto the point and get the rest of Gladiators Legion pretty well healed, as XL2 Academy having a hard time cleaning everything up onto the payload. We're seeing this brawl that we talked about earlier. You need to win a couple fights in a row, and that's exactly what XL2 Academy is doing, as that Earthshatter is going to be the cherry on top against Pooks. Round 2 is complete. XL2 Academy do find themselves at the end of Hollywood.
Oh, and I would solo shatter Pooks too with the amazing clutch sound barrier that he laid on, giving Gladiators Legion way more of a shot at this defense than they ought to have had. XL2 Academy running around, you know, a little bit discombobulated. We didn't really see the focus fire quite there. Gods throws out that self-destruct. He actually sound barriers the baby diva, crucially giving her those shields so that she can actually get back into mech and start recontributing to the team. In the end, Gladiators Legion do have to give up that 3rd point, but some really good choices from the support line.
And so XL2 Academy do finish it out. There's only a 55-second time difference. XL2 Academy only have that 1 minute to try to take point A, and if they don't want to get best case scenario is a draw, they really got to make at least 1 tick.
That's what they'll be hoping for, praying for, crossing all their fingers and toes, because Gladiators Legion did not look afraid at all. Even though their tournament lives are on the line, they met every fight, you know, very well, very disciplined here, and actually, you know, just posture in front of the spawn. There's no need to shoot a sonic arrow or a scope out. Gladiators Legion letting XL2 know exactly what they're running. It's just some more goats.
You know, it's not a surprise when it's, you know, something you're used to.
Yeah, when it happens all the time.
And so Gladiators Legion know what they're going after. As you see Jur switch over, there's no need to even fire a shot. They know what's happening. And so TT on that Reinhardt needs to find that same type of explosiveness that they had on Busan. Even though they didn't lose that map, TT was definitely a bright spot throughout the entirety of Busan for XL2 Academy. Will it happen again? And Gladiators Legion going to use their amp it up first to push XL2 Academy back a little bit more, and that's just going to take 5 seconds off the clock. When you have a minute, that 5 seconds might be the difference between an entire completion on A or just a couple ticks, as Logic's going to push some damage with those grenades into the back line. Got in XL2 Academy, we all trying to do the same thing on that Diva, but right now this is almost deja vu on Gladiators Legion's attack from earlier, and so Logic's though getting high on that energy, got a 100, is going to kill Far, so this is a 6v4 for XL2 Academy, so they will be taking point A after they wipe out the rest of Gladiators Legion, and let's see what they have coming up, Ham.
Yeah, Dalton taking the long way around. There's no question that Legion will be giving up this point, but that was a risk that did not pay off for them, as you so well pointed out, Boop. Using that speed boost to posture aggressively in that choke meant that Legion couldn't use that speed boost to quickly disengage from XL2 when TT pushed in. I was really worried that the Reinhardt wouldn't be receiving the backup of his Zarya and the rest of his team, but no, they were right there behind him. A good nade finished off a couple of the tanks from Legion, and there we have it, XL2 Academy. They are now in overtime, but they're keeping this card alive.
Yeah, and Gladiators Legion don't, I believe it was against Second Wind when Second Wind full completed Hollywood in overtime against them. So XL2 trying to do the same thing. Logic's with that Graviton Surge. They're well prepared to do it, but Gladiators Legion going to throw theirs out a little bit before XL2 Academy, and the Graviton Surge coming from both sides have now been used. Self-destruct now from XL2 Academy, and the backline will be getting 4. Great Earth Shatter there. That is a 4K for Woo, y'all. You know, and it's some micro missile kills as well to, you know, put it up there in the end.
Make it a 5. I'm not driving. There we go, to quote our favorite Kevin McAllister right there. And I am, even though it's already January, I am feeling the Christmas spirit. Our hopes are alive with this XL2 push. That was a beautiful combo right there. We saw Wooyall lobbing it. It seemed like it was so far. How can you possibly get a kill off of that? No, Earthshatter comes in. However, now this means that XL2 will have to expend that sound barrier to keep this fight alive.
Yeah, sound barrier is coming from both sides. Earthshatter going to find a bunch of people on XL2, 4 on the ground, and 2 will be back in spawn. So there's a 6v3 for Gladiators Legion, but the payload has made a ton of distance. They have to stop it here, or they're just giving it up at this point. And yes, the payload doesn't have any XL2 Academy members within it or on it. And so Gladiators Legion do finally stop at the middle of a Streets phase. But man, that could have gone a little bit better for Gladiators Legion if that speed boost was used in just a different way.
Yeah, you never quite know what your, that butterfly effect, what your earlier actions will be sowing in the future. But ooh, y'all, that was really, really good stuff. Good communication between him and Tsitsi. We usually see Clone Man in that main tank role for XL2, but Tsitsi really filling those big shoes.
Big shoes, indeed. Clone Man performed very, very well. It's not like you know, losing Clone Man does mean that XL2 are playing with that new main tank, and the thing about that is that main tank is the center of this GOATS composition,
tip of the spear,
right?
Man.
Exactly. It's what everyone is working around, and when that person is new, you know, there's some things that could happen because of that.
Well, calling Tsitsi new, he definitely,
you know what I mean.
No, I know exactly what you mean. I just wanted to elaborate on his history because I like the guy. He's really cool, seems really down to earth. He was playing for the London Spitfire during the OWL inaugural season, so this is, you know, somebody who's been around Overwatch, but yes, he is a new player in this crucial role for XL2, bringing him up from the bench, and he's currently been doing really, really well. And now, though, they do have to hold against Gladiators Legion, who have almost 2 minutes to their name. This first fight is going to be a big decider. Who wins, how badly or how well they win, or how badly the enemy team loses is going to do a lot to determine those ultimate banks moving into the second, more crucial fight.
You are 100% correct, HamTornado. If Gladiators Legion are able to take this fight really soon, that's going to give them a huge opportunity to beat XL2 Academies, and we see that speed boost happening right now. They ended up not going to result in any real casualties at this point. Gladiators Legion, though, taken very low before anything could happen.
Yeah, but XL2 Academy not taking the bait. They're not going to be pushing in too low. TT getting really low, himself getting bodied there, but no, it's Gods who loses his mech first. Gladiators Legion, you have to fall back now.
Gladiators Legion, though, are going to do just that. Hoops, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Hoops in the back line tried to boot the Reinhardt into the rest of the team because he saw TT was low, but unfortunately, it's like one of those moves where no distance is created, right? We've all been there. And so, cool play in the end. Like, good idea. That would have worked if it worked. XL2 Academy, though, now have 2 ultimates, 3, 4, 5 ultimates for this defense. Gladiators Legion close to 2. So those aren't numbers I like.
Yeah, if you do believe in math, and we do here in any Contenders, Gladiators Legion, they have to know that this is going to be an uphill fight. If they can bait a couple of those ultimates out from XL2, it's going to be good. And they find Logix!
But do they even have the time to bait Ham? TT will get the charge kill onto Boots, no mech onto Gods, means that there's one less tank for them. The Earthshatter, though, knocking a lot of XL2 onto the ground, but The Transcendence was already pushed out, so the healing was there. Gladiators Legion got to find some way to come back onto this point within the next 12 seconds.
It is possible, but it's going to be a staggered push regardless. There's no way that you're going to get a 6-man and Pooks can't touch. No, I think XL2 have just done it. The nail in the coffin here. They will take Hollywood against Legion and tie things up 1-1.
And so we're going into halftime tied, like you said, HamTornado 1-1 in this playoff decider for Gladiators Legion and Team Envy, who swept Skyfoxes earlier today. XL2 looking for that #1 seed, as well as second win fell to Energy earlier today as well. So a lot of movement on the last day of Contenders, but one thing is for sure, we've got a game on our hands.
Oh yeah, it's not just the teams that are tied. My bowels are tied up in knots right now. I have not taken a full breath since we started that second round of Hollywood.
Yeah, it's like when I wore that shirt yesterday.
Yeah, man. I think we all saw what happened there. But it's just, one of those things. Gladiators Legion starting to, is this going to be their peak against XL2? One of the most dominant teams in this group. Is it time for XL2, now to slightly fall down just a little bit? They're trying too many new things too quickly in a match that really matters.
Well, they have a new main tank as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. And again, TC is a great player. It's not like that's that is definitely the case. But again, anytime you're new and it's the main tank, there's gonna be some growing pains. There's a reason why that phrase exists, right? You can be the best Reinhardt in the world, but with it surrounded by different people, it's gonna be, it's gonna be different on how you get to that level.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. I want this halftime to be shorter.
And so, in order to make sure that we wait the least amount of time, we're going to go ahead and throw it to halftime right away. We're tied 1-1 with Gladiators Legion's playoff hopes on the line against XL2 Academy. We'll see you all in about 6 minutes.